Hello, hello. This is my presentation on Infans Alberto Ventre. My name is Chad Clemens. I will be doing this for History 2GR3, the History of Monsters, with Professor Michael Egan as our leader. Before I start, I just want to give a brief history of the Monstrum Historia. It was written by a gentleman named Ulysses Avaldi. He was a botanist and collector of curiosities. The book itself was published in 1642. Uh, it documents everything pretty much from a unicorn to a human with two heads. It's a rather interesting collection of monstrosities. The monster I have chosen, Infans Alberto Ventre, um, or baby with the open belly, was observed. It was actually observed by a gentleman named Lichotines. I'm horrible with that. Within Italy. He had some other scholars with him and they were traveling and they witnessed multiple types of birth defects. It really saddens me to know that he witnessed this poor infant with the entrails out of the body. I do have a connection with this with a friend Alex of mine who was also born with a similar defect. He had ulcers within his stomach that protruded to outside of his skin, very similar, and it was also called gastrosis. Okay, so what are we looking at with these two interesting pictures? One on the top left there is the unfortunate baby that I can't say his name, Lichtenstein's witnessed. It was an actual birth where the baby was born with its legs around up near its ears, a cone head, and no covering of the abdomen. As he describes, for there was an infant without a belly, and the bowels hung open from the chest, and the umbilical cord was visible at the end of the tube. Sounds pretty disgusting to me, but he was there and he witnessed this real thing. The other picture that I actually came across while researching for the baby with the open belly, and that is child born with a knife in the abdomen. Another really interesting one is like it was it a literal thing or was it because the abdomen broke open? Could these possibly be the same defect? So far, both the monsters I have spoken about have a very similar situation with an issue with an abdomen. Now, I see a connection when it comes to abdomen issue, one being a knife in the abdomen or something sharp that has to be removed, and an open abdomen with, say, entrails and stomach falling out. They both have a connection to something called gastrosis. Now, what gastrosis is, it's pretty much a birth defect where the organs are outside of the body due to not being formed properly within the womb. I also wonder if there's other monsters within the monstrum that may actually be connected to gastrosis, that may have something similar. Like the gentleman in the previous slide with the stomach outside of his body, I'm curious, did people with these defects like earn money? Were they in freak shows or something like a freak show? Did they have a community that they survived within? Or were they ostracized and pushed out? Did the community help them or hinder them with a good quality of life or bad quality of life? How long did they actually survive? Did they live in hospitals or were they kept away? Medical advances in parental care, new technology, and growth as humans, we've evolved We have more empathy. We care more for our fellow humans than we ever have. And we understand that abnormalities happen. Uh, People with physical differences are human. People with mental health issues are human as well. And we now have more empathy towards those we once didn't understand, or definitely wouldn't have understood in the 1600s. A lot of the new medical advances we have made it really easy to actually repair something like osteoporosis. Like my friend Alex had gone through, he was born with ulcers on his stomach outside of his belly that had to be corrected pretty much the same way as the picture shown here. I like to consider the ethical situation that doctors would have had back then compared to now. We have four pillars of medical practices now that really hold our ethics together. Uh, we have kindness. We have the obligation not to harm a patient. We have freedom to make choices as a patient. We now have justice. We have fair treatment for everybody. What would they had 272 years ago? Did they have those type of pillars? I don't think so. I think it would have been sad and unfortunate for these people. In conclusion, I'd just like to finish with the baby with the open belly. It may be a monster in 1664 when it was witnessed, but the medical advances that we've reached today, this baby would have survived with a long and healthy life. It was no monster. Lives now, we do what we can as best we can to help people. What happened in the 1600s? I'll just leave you with that thought.